I don't know if I should be asking for advice because I honestly don't know what to do. For more context, my older sister is 22 and her boyfriend and I are the same age, 19. I'll call my sister Kate and her boyfriend Adam, which is not their real names. So Adam and I were initially acquaintances. We were both in the same year in class in high school and are now in the same university, studying the same thing. We were never close enough to be friends, but after he started dating Kate, we did become friends, and okay friends since we have a lot in common. I must mention I have no interest or any feelings for Adam, but when Adam and I kind of became friends, my sister didn't like it, which is understandable, so I kept my distance like she wanted. But Adam and I had to still end up speaking because we have a few classes together, but we only really talk about school or when it has to do with a class or anything Kate related. So Adam had been invited by Kate over for dinner, and he asked me if I wanted a ride home in his car, since we were still going to the same place after all. I didn't think much of it, so I agreed, and we had just come from evening classes, and it was dark out, and I was too exhausted most of the time during the ride. I was actually asleep, so we didn't even talk at all. But when we went into the house, I was heading up to my room when Kate grabbed me and pulled me back and asked why Adam and I came back together. Adam immediately tried to tell her why, but she started shouting at him and telling him to stop talking for me and to stop defending me too. Her shouting caused my parents to rush to us. She then started screaming at me, telling me to stop being jealous and to find my own man to drive me home. She then said she's noticed everything and she hates how I think every man wants me, and she called me desperate too. She was also tightly grabbing me, digging her nails in my wrist, which hurt, so I yanked my arm off and she shoved me. Adam tried to hold her back, but she began to scream and cry for him to stop defending me and that he was her boyfriend and not mine. My parents tried to calm her down, but she was shaking and breathing like heavily and fast. She was also looking at me, and I felt and still feel so shaken up by the scene. My mom started yelling at me to leave the room until she was better, and said that I was triggering her more by being there. I felt confused and accused, so I tried to tell them that I had no idea what I did wrong, and tried to explain, but my sister started to make these sounds while shaking and like panting and glaring at me, which honestly scared me. My mom yelled at me to leave again, and I did. I heard them ask Adam to leave too, and he also did, and later texted me and asked me if my sister was okay. But I honestly have been too scared to leave my room. I feel a bit scared that my sister might do something to me, and I've honestly cried a lot, and I feel a bit shaken up because of seeing my sister like that. I don't know if it's a panic attack or a breakdown, but she looked more angry than anything. I feel a bit responsible for her having such a reaction, since she told me before to stay away from Adam, so I wish I never took the ride home with him. I don't know who to talk to about this, and I'm still in my room. I know I've said this a lot already, but I'm genuinely scared to leave my room because of everything. And I feel like my parents both think it's my fault for my sister acting that way. I would first like to begin by saying that everyone was right. I should have left my house for some time after Kate had such a reaction towards me. So after Kate's meltdown a week ago, Adam actually started keeping his distance from Kate and her family. I did too. I'd only leave my room to go to school or to get dinner, which I had in my room. My mom also advised me to do that because she was worried about how Kate would be to me, especially since Adam wasn't talking to her much at the moment. But he would still text me occasionally if he had something to tell me about, in terms of school. But he wouldn't even ask about Kate. So about 3 or so days after that happened, I was at school and got a text from Kate, and she basically told me that she hated me and that if I come home that day, she'd actually kill me. I was so confused. I didn't know what I had done since I hadn't spoken to her for some time. I forwarded the message to my parents, and I was also upset since she was threatening me out of nowhere. Plus she was insulting me a lot too. Kate called me, and when I answered, she was crying and screaming at me, saying it's my fault and that I never want to see her happy. And I took away someone so important to her just because I don't have a man for myself. I tried to tell her first that I didn't know what happened, but she kept saying, "Liar, it's It's your fault. Liar. It's your fault. Then when I hang up and went to ask Adam about it, he told me he had ended things because Kate had started not only calling his phone a lot but also his parents. She was also texting his friends on Instagram, asking them to talk to him so that he could talk to her again. Adam also said that she started threatening him too, but with her life, like saying if he actually leaves her, she's going to kill herself and it will be his fault. I didn't believe him at first, actually, since I had never seen or heard my sister being like that. So he showed me the text as proof and told me that he couldn't handle being in such a relationship since he was now afraid of her. Then he said he was also scared of me or interacting with me just in case Kate would hurt me again for it. I called my mom and tried to explain everything to her after I was done with all my classes, and I even had Adam there to speak to them, just in case she wouldn't believe me or wouldn't believe what Adam had told me, but my mom just started yelling at me. She told me that what I was doing was wrong, like communicating with someone who caused my sister so much pain, and even trying to get her to speak to him. She then refused to speak to him or even hear the reason he broke up with her, because all he did was hurt Kate to her, and said that me continuing to speak to him meant I didn't care about my sister. I then told her how Kate was threatening me, and she told me that it was just out of anger, and that I should stay away from Adam if I don't want to make Kate angrier. I kept trying to get her to understand how I felt, but she kept dismissing me so much and yelling at me too, that I cried and had to end the call. I stayed in school with Adam for some time, and we spoke about what I should do, and mostly because I was just scared of going home and wanted to talk to someone who understood me, not to trigger Kate. Kate was spamming me with texts asking if I was with Adam, and what was taking me so long to go home. She was also calling me a lot, and when I didn't answer her calls, she called me through my mom's phone, and when I answered and heard it was her, I hang up after she said she knew I was with Adam. I honestly felt so exhausted by all of this, and had to even face the fear of asking a friend who slept in the dorms if I can stay with her. I told her everything too, and we're close, so I have been here for a few days. I told my parents that I was with a friend to prep for some exams, and both of them, especially my father, insist I go home, especially since I'm the youngest. They don't trust me to stay out of home since first I have nothing on me, but I'm actually just scared to go home that I don't care. My parents think I'm overreacting about Kate's threats, and even made me speak to her on the phone, and she told me she didn't mean it, but I don't believe her. They're saying I'm trying to ruin Kate's name by involving others into family matters. Like what? I had to turn my phone off for some time because of Kate constantly calling and texting threats and insults to me. And when I tell my parents, they literally made excuses. Oh, and on Saturday, all three of them came to my school to try and find me. I was lucky not to bump into them, but Adam and one of my other friends unfortunately were spotted by Kate. But Adam didn't want to talk to them, so he avoided them and warned me about it, and my friend who did talk to them told me my sister asked her if I was staying with Adam, and my parents told her to tell me to come home and to take their calls. So yeah, I apologize if this post feels all over the place. I tried to explain everything for everyone who wanted an update. I'm still so stressed about everything, and keeping my distance isn't helping like I thought it would. I'm constantly worried that my sister and my parents will find me, and that I will have to speak to them on this, which I don't want to, but I know I'll have to go home soon since my parents are insisting on it.